what's your pivot? If we've learned nothing else post-pandemic, especially for the younger or newer business owners, business executives that have a staff and a team of employees underneath them, you have to be nimble. You got to be able to move. God forbid there's another pandemic, and there probably won't be in most of our lifetimes. If you look at maybe every 100 years, a recession, maybe survived one of those as a business owner myself. Tech bubble, yeah, I owned a business, the tail end of that. Uh, these things are going to happen no matter whether it's a natural disaster, a financial disaster, a pandemic. So you really need to have a plan to pivot. You need to be nimble enough to move and shift gears and keep your doors open and continue to generate revenue. I'll give you an example. One of our clients is a brick and mortar store. So brick and mortar store. So they sold goods to customers that walked into the store, went to the cash register, and made a purchase. Well, when COVID happened, they had to close like most other businesses. And if you can't be open, public can't come in, they can't buy your products, you can't make money. Short term, there's a problem if you have perishable raw materials that now you've got raw materials to sell and you have no way to get them to the customer. All of that perishable stuff is going to go right in the garbage, and it's the equivalent of lighting your money on fire in the parking lot. So what we did was we drafted a systemized strategy to still take and connect goods with customer without that customer physically having to walk into the brick and mortar. How did we do it? We leveraged technology. So we shifted from in-person buying in the brick and mortar to an online purchase. And then, and this created a secondary opportunity for the brick and mortar business, but then we went to curbside pickup. And going to curbside pickup allowed us to reduce our overhead costs because we didn't have to staff the business so that the public can walk in when they wanted to. We took the public interest, said, hey, you got to buy online. And then we funneled all of it to a select number of hours that we set where they could safely do curbside pickup and pick up what they purchased. So that allowed us to not have to staff the business. There's a cost savings there. To be more efficient, while we're working in the business, we're also not having to manage interruptions when customers walk into the store or phone calls or any number of things. So it allowed us to reduce our operating costs by controlling how much labor, so staffing for the store, how much time. We funneled the customers to hours that we set for safe curbside pickup, and it allowed us to be more efficient in getting the work done to produce the goods. So that's a great example of a pivot. I can give you another example of a gym. I had some young entrepreneur gym owners. They had just gotten started right before the pandemic. Pandemic comes, they got to close. So I said, listen, you have the credit card information, you have the checking account information for your clients. Let's leverage technology. Let's do virtual workouts using things like Zoom or FaceTime or whatever it might be. And they said, well, what about equipment? I said, well, that's where having the credit card information comes in. Let them take some equipment home and start constructing training programs, workouts, and protocols around simple, basic equipment that you've allowed them to take from your facility so they can continue to train. So you maintain that client trainer relationship. Many of them are going to say, well, I would like to have access to equipment. I don't have any. So if I keep paying you, I get the training and I get the equipment, and you're going to write workouts and programs and help me do this at home, provide some accountability. That maintains that relationship. So the revenue keeps coming in. It's another great example of a pivot. Did the same thing with a boxing club. Hey, listen, you have your customers' payment information. Why not allow them to take some simple, basic equipment home? Gloves, jump ropes, wraps. And it's not like they're going to be hitting a bag, but it's going to give them a bit of the feel of what they do when they come to the boxing club. You're going to provide the coaching, the training, leveraging technology, doing it over the internet, doing it over something like Zoom. and you're going to give them some tools that they don't have so they can exercise at home. You're going to hold them accountable. Opportunity to maintain that client business relationship, continue to generate revenue. And I can go on and on, but the take home point is in our lifetimes, we may not see another pandemic. God, I sure hope not. It's likely you'll see some type of economic, financial situation, i.e., a recession, a depression. So you have to be nimble. You have to have a plan to pivot. And oftentimes, you can still maintain that client, that customer relationship that you have. You can continue to have that revenue coming in. You can deliver what they were looking to have delivered, and you can keep your doors open and keep your business. So you have to be able to pivot. So I guess my question to you is, what's your pivot?